what's going on, party people? This your man Griff. Hey, we got a great video tonight. As you saw, this is Notary Tech Talk doing a review of the new release of Notary Assist. I'm telling you, they did a great job. Now I'm not going to go over every single feature, every single upgrade, this, that, and the other. If you have a Notary Assist account, you're going to see it. Okay. If you don't, all you got to do is go to notaryassist.com, sign up for an account. Now, full disclosure, okay? I'm not getting paid for this. I know y'all thought I was going to say I was getting paid. I'm not a paid spokesperson, not getting compensated in any way, shape, or form. This is just me sharing my thoughts on the new Notary Assist release, the features that have been released. I love them. It is going way, way better in the right direction for me. Not that it wasn't going in the right direction before, but I'm very analytical when it comes to understanding data and where I'm at and looking at everything that they put into this right now. And I knew it was great because as soon as I opened it up today, when I was adding some more orders that I've completed as well as ones that I got coming up, I was like, she's using Highcharts. And keep in mind, I'm a web developer and I use a lot of technology. And one of the technologies I've used since 2014, 15 was a program called Highcharts. And that is a graphical interface for showing you different charts, pie charts, line charts, spine charts, you name it. And when I saw the charting system in there, and I'm gonna show y'all this in a little bit, I was like, she's using Highcharts, gotta be. So I looked at the code and I was like, sure enough. And it's nothing, didn't hack her system. It's the easy way you can look at anybody's website code if you know what you're doing. And I was like, she's using Highcharts. So that told me she is really, Sue Hope is going completely in the right direction with upgrading Notary Assist to give you much better data. Now, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to go into this data and I'm going to show you how you can use this data to evaluate where you're at as well as your marketing. Okay. Because this type of transparency of what you or the work you're doing will help you to understand where you need to improve as well as how you can show others where you're at and that you're a good candidate for them to use for loan closings. Okay. So of course you go to notaryassist.com, go there, log in. I'm not going to go through all of that. And there's some things that I can't show y'all because this is my actual account, which will give, will show personal data. So all you're going to see here are the numbers. I started with them in 2018. So didn't have that much in 2018. So I'm going to show y'all 2019 and a couple of other years so you can see where everything is at. And then I'm going to show you how I took the data that she has provided and then I did my own Highcharts and I'll show y'all how I went about doing that. Okay. Now you may not get into that part of it. Sorry about that. You may not get into that part of it, but that's the kind of stuff that I like to get into. All right. So let me show y'all this here. Let me move some of these banners out the way and thank y'all for hitting the like button. So as you see, this here is 2019. Excuse me. So when you go in here under Business Center, you can do business analytics. And in business analytics, this shows you all of the signings that you have completed. And then it gives you the number of assignments, the total amount, your mileage, any expenses that you subscribe to that particular order. And then it gives you your total profit. Then it shows you what your average is, okay? Your average per order based on this here. And then they got individual charts that they can show you for that particular type. So for the refinances for 2019, this is showing what I made per for each month. Okay. Doesn't show the number of signings. It just shows the fact that this is the dollar amount that I made for each month for 2019. Okay. That comes up to 13,850. Now, what I also like is that you have a chart here. And when I saw this, this is when I knew what she was using. As soon as I saw this, I was like, okay, this is what she's using. And she's probably been using Highcharts all along, but just in a different, just the basic ones. But when I saw this, I was like, oh man, this is sweet here. Okay. Now, personally, I prefer a pie chart. Okay. I like pie charts and bar graphs. Okay. Whether vertical or horizontal. Because what happens is down here it gets a little clustered when you have lower amount of orders and everything is sort of laid on top of each other. So that's why I like the pie charts, because then I can get a better picture of it. And I think for certain presentations, you can use a pie chart will come out better. Okay. So this is showing the work that I did. And this here's the refinances. This here is the sales orders that I did for August and then all of that. Okay. Now, you say, well, how does this help me out? The way this will help you out, it will help you to see where you're being successful, what type of orders you've been successful in, and what type of orders you have not been successful in, where you probably need to focus more attention. So, in this case, with this here order of refinances, I'm making $93 a pop. Excuse me. Well, from here, I could say for the next year, 2020, I want to average $100. So that tells me what? I can focus on getting different orders. But then also, I'm looking at, I did a lot of loan applications. Okay, well, that was good. But then I see that my purchases, I average more doing purchases than I did with my refinances. So maybe I want to market. And you see, this is how it helps you to market. Because if you see where you're doing less orders, but getting higher returns, then maybe when you market yourself to the title offices or real estate agents or whoever, you have that in mind. You can craft your marketing to reflect that you're comfortable doing purchases. Okay. But you don't know that if you don't know what your numbers are. So let me come back to y'all real quick. Um, what you have to understand is that a lot of people are trying to teach y'all how to market. But if you don't know where your strengths are at and your weaknesses, and you market to the wrong people, you market to somebody, and in this case, I got say two HELOCs, and you're marketing to somebody who does a whole lot of HELOCs, and you don't have any experience in that. You see what I'm saying? And you're marketing to the wrong person because, well, let's just say you don't like doing HELOCs. So you need to understand where your strengths and weaknesses are. And this shows me where my strengths and weaknesses are. This also shows me where the business is flowing, how the business is flowing at that time. So I'm like, okay, 148 signings with refinances, cool. 27 loan applications, okay, things was popping there. You get what I'm saying? So this is just another way of you to see where your strengths and weaknesses are. And it can also help you in your marketing. So you can do different types of marketing based on the numbers. Also, you can use this to show somebody that you are out there doing work. I am working. I am I am doing work out here, and here are my numbers. So you can actually take these numbers and then you can turn around and possibly put those into your profile that for the year 2021 I did 148, I mean 2019 I did 148 refinances, 27 loan applications. So now you're letting them know that you don't have a problem doing loan applications. You can say that in your profile, but when you show them, I don't have a problem doing it. So you show it. That's the beauty of this here. So let's take the note of a couple of things, and we might have to switch back and forth. But so we're seeing here, and let me just make a few quick notes so I can keep up with the numbers. So the refis is at 93. The purchase is at 107. Okay. Let's go. Let's keep track of the HELOC at 62. Sales is at 87. Okay. And then so we'll just stick with that. Okay. We'll just stick with those. I'm trying to think of anything else. Yeah. So that's what I was at in 2019. I was averaging. So let's look at 2020. So in 2020, my refis went up to 101. My purchase went up to 135. My HELOCs went up to 85 from 62. And then the sales went up to $122 per order. That's pretty good to me. So now I see my trending. So now I can actually say to myself and encourage myself that, okay, I'm actually moving in the right direction. Okay. Loan applications was less, but I was averaging $84 a pop. So let's go back to see what the loan applications was in 2019. So in 2019, it was $68 and I did 27. Okay. Loan applications was 27 and I was averaging $68. In 2020, I did 10, so I was averaging 84. So you can see how, for whatever reason, the price for the loan applications went up. Now, here's the cool part. So, oops, wrong one. Loan application. So you could get an idea of which months they was popping. Okay, it wasn't a whole lot going on for the rest of that year. Or either I just didn't take any, one of the two. Okay, so in 2021, so let's look at our data points again. Okay, so in 2021, I'm averaging 102. My purchases are 126. I think that's a little bit down. My HELOCs are averaging 100, only did one. And then the sales, 108. So I'm still up over what I was. I'm up. I'm much higher than what I was. That's a good thing. So, like, let's say, look at the purchases. This is what my purchases was looking like per month. This gives you a great idea of where you are at and what you can focus on. So let's just say if I would have took a few more purchases in February, May, and June, and average, you know, that would have been much better for me. Okay. And then let's look at 2022. So in 2022, I averaged 102 for the HELOCs. I'm sorry, for the refis, 129 for my purchases. For the HELOC, 60. Okay. So that's sort of down, but that's a little less, but I can deal with that. Honestly, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. Sales, 91. So for the most part, I'm been doing good. I'm up. SBA loans, those are commercial loans. I did two of those. So that came out to 237 a pop. And then so let's look at this HELOC here. Now, For a lot of people, my HELOCs, so you see here, my HELOCs was averaging $60 a pop. Now, a lot of people talk smack about doing HELOCs, but you tell me that you wouldn't be happy with pulling in these dollar amounts here. HELOCs take about 15 to 20 minutes to do. Okay. So you mean to tell me that you don't want to make $400, you don't want to make 275, 300, you don't want to make that kind of money. Okay. This here HELOC was more likely just one that was for $90. You don't want to try to make that kind of money. I mean, that's easy. 15, 20 minutes of popping, you getting $400 in 1 month just from HELOCs. You're not printing that many pages. So this here helps you to see where you are at. So now so let's see here. So like I shared, excuse me, like I shared, she's using a system called Highcharts. And this is what Highcharts is. This website called Highcharts. And how I know she was using it, this here is the website code. And all you got to do is right click and then you go view page source and it'll show you the website code. And right here, Highcharts. Okay. So I know what she was using, Highcharts. Went to highcharts.com, which just looking at it, I already knew. Here's the type of chart that she's using, which is called a basic line chart. I tend to like pie charts. So what I did was I downloaded their examples and I modified the code and I took what I did in 2019 and made my own chart. I made my own chart. And I just love that graphical thing where it just sort of flips around. I love that. Bam. I love that. Okay. That's one of the things that drew me into high charts. You know, so now, so you can take this here and let's just say you want to prove to somebody, a title company, whatever the work you're doing. You can actually make this into a PDF. Here it is. So you can make a PDF. Bam. And you could submit this. Or the way I would do it is I would print this PDF and I would stick it on my wall as a way to motivate me. So in 2019, here's where I was at. In 2020, 2021, 2022. So it's some work and some effort, but you get to see where you're at. Excuse me. So whether you do a line chart, bar chart, pie chart, it doesn't matter. That's up to you. But you can see here 74% of the orders that I'm doing is coming from refis. At that time, 13% was coming from loan apps. So this is how you can move yourself to do better. You can motivate yourself by seeing where you're at. It gets difficult when you don't know where you are at in the whole process. This is why I talk so much about you as a notary business owner, focusing on what you need to do and not getting caught up into what other people are telling you to do. Okay. And I know I'm getting into the weeds, but that's what notary tech talk is all about. Getting into the weeds to help of the technical side so you can move your business in the right direction. Okay. This helps me to know that I'm on the right path and it keeps me motivated. And I'm like, all right, so I'm doing this and I'm getting better and better and better. And now I can see where I may want to refocus my attention at. Okay. So, like one example that I wanted to show y'all. Yeah, in 2022. Let me show y'all real quick. So, as you see here, and I think I need to zoom in a little bit more. As you see here in 2022, look at here, $11,000 in purchases that I did, averaging 129 a pop. So what does that tell me? I need to do more. Okay. I gotta drop this down just a touch. Excuse me. So y'all can see. So this is I probably could have been that's 11,000. I could have been probably at easily at 12, maybe almost 13 had I done some in January, bumped up more in March. So you're looking at almost $1,000 a month. That's good. That is good. So you're talking about basically in 10 months, I almost average $1,000 in purchase closings a month. This is how you can get an idea of where you are at. Now, a lot of people give me a hard time about doing all of those little small things like these miscellaneous documents. I made $420 in April just doing miscellaneous documents. 345 in November doing miscellaneous documents. Okay. Those are just you going out and getting a deed re-signed or whatever the case may be. I know I go and knock those out. Did 17 of them, $1,300 for the year. What is wrong with doing that? Okay. It's nothing wrong. But this shows you, at least it shows me, where my two biggest breadwinners are, or bread makers, purchases and refinance. And then coming in third is the sales. So if I can increase the purchase and the sales to say 100 a piece and get that fee up to probably 130, 140, and then for the sales probably to 125, that's going to make a difference. And then as you see here, my Ron, I did 7 runs. So, and you know, that's why people talk about, and I use dot verify. So I'm making my money um back on what I invest into Ron on dot verify. So this is how you can see where you are at. You know what I'm saying? I love it. These HELOCs. I love those HELOCs. I'm telling you, because them HELOCs, they brought some good money into my family. They helped us out financially, by being able to do it. And then of course you got your general notary work category down here. And stuff that I did for that, you know. Matter of fact, I think, yeah, that was a will that I did and stuff. And yes, I know somebody like, man, you only did for it was that will was so it was just a simple will, just $45. Just knock that out for the people and all of that. Okay. So, oh, and let me show y'all how I went about modifying the high chart. All right. Just for the techie people, just being techie. All right, let me move this over here. So all I did was just modify this data that they had in here and just changed it. I'm not going to go in showing you the before and after and all of that, but all I did was went in here into the code and changed this, changed that, you know, um, changed the name, loan closings for 2019, and then I updated the data. And if you're a IT person, you can figure this out. It's real, real simple. And then I made all those changes, and that's how I got the charts. Um, that's how I came up and was able to change this into what you see here. So it's not hard, at least for me, but it's simple. But here's the whole thing. What Sue Hope did with Notary Assist is fabulous. It is 100% fabulous. For me, it gives me the data that I want so that I can know where I'm strong at and where I need to improve at. Um, Maybe I don't, I'm like, okay, what if I'm doing good with the refis? That's not a problem. Now I can focus on other areas. I can focus on new home purchases and working with sales and HELOCs and debt settlements or loan mods or whatever the case may be. I can work on those and take that in to help increase my revenue. This is why I've always talked to y'all about just go out here and do the work. Okay. If you go out here and do the work, then you'll have some data, you'll have some money to show from what you did. But if you're sitting here constantly, well, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. And even with your marketing, you're trying to market, but you don't really know what your strengths and weaknesses are in this industry. So how can you actually do some target marketing when you don't know where it's at? It's like, okay, well, I need to increase my sales or the purchases. Like in 2019, purchases was only 1% of the revenue. And I'm gonna put this data into, from the other years and see where it went, where it's at now. So sales was 2%, 2.5%, and purchases was only 1% of the total revenue that I got. You can say, well, I want to increase that to 5%. Now you can put together a plan to go make it 5%. But how can you say I want to increase it if you don't know where you're at? That's why getting with Notary Assist is a good deal. Now, a lot of you are probably saying, well, is Notary Assist better or Notary Gadget? To be honest, I look at what will give me the data that I want to help me understand where I'm at. And right now, that's Notary Assist. I don't know if Notary Gadget does that. Excuse me, sorry about that. But I will say that I do know people look more at aesthetics and say, well, I want the site to look like this and have fancy colors and all of that. All I know is this: I need the data. I don't care if it's all black, all white, purple, whatever. If I can get the data, then I can work with that. Okay. That's just me. So I'm not going to say Notary Assist or Notary Gadget is better than each other. That's for you to decide. Even with all the updates, because I haven't played with Notary Gadget, so I don't know whether they have these same features or whether if they did, whether their features is better than that. I don't know. You know, I don't know. Now, one of the things that I would love to see in Notary Gadget, I mean Notary Assist. I knew I was gonna mess around and say gadget. But so with all of that, now here's some things just from my perspective to help me manage my orders better. Okay. So like this here is and you can sit here and pick the type of loan products you're doing, whether it's general, all of that. That is great. But what I would love to see in here, which I don't see, is I would love to be able to select whether or not scan backs are due. Are scan backs due for this order? Yes or no? Or in other words, default to be no. But if it is, then there's a box that I can check. And then when I look at my orders in the dashboard or in the view signings, it'll have an indicator there letting me know that scan backs are due, especially if I'm looking at it via the app. I would love to be able to see from a glance that I got a scan back due for this order. That would be great. Um, Another data set that would be great is to be able to show what work I have that's signing services versus direct. Then that way I can compare my refis and say, okay, I got refis, but how much did I get from direct and how much did I get from signing services? How much revenue did I make from directs on purchases versus signing services? For me, excuse me, I would love to see that kind of granularity. I guess that's the proper word. I would love to get that deep into the weeds so I can see the difference between the two. So for me, I want to be able to say I can see that I got a scan back due, because none of them talking about when you just look at the orders and as they listed, None of this, the snap docs or doc verify, I mean not doc verify, snap docs or signing order, signature closes, none of them, maybe signature closes does. I think they do, but snap docs and signing order, when you look at the orders as they just laid out in the row feature, they don't show you whether or not you have scan backs due unless you go into the order. I don't want to always have to go into order to see if I got scan backs, because if I'm out here working doing 4 to 6 signings a day, I want to be able to see at a glance, oh, I got scan backs. That's what I would like to see. I also would like to be able to have the ability to check to say docs have been received. So let's just say I got an order and it's not till next week. And there's some companies who will send me the documents early. I would love to be able to check a box, excuse me, as I submit it, and then go back and say, oh, I got the documents. There's sometimes I get an order, and when they submit it to me, it might be for tomorrow or later in the day. They already got the document. So then if I can check a box to let me know at a glance that I have documents already, for me, that would be great, because then I don't have to sit here wondering, do I have documents or don't I? Or always have to go, like if I'm using Notary Assist, then I can just glance and say, okay, yes, I got the documents. Because if you put your orders into SnapDocs from signing orders, there's no indicator that you can turn on to say I have documents. You see what I'm saying? And yes, Snap signing order does that. Excuse me. But if I'm using primarily Notary Assist to really manage my stuff, I would like to be able to see that option. Trying to think what else. And these aren't hits against them, because what you have in here is great. I'm just sharing what I would like to see, how I would, you know, this helps me out and everything. So, all right, I think that's it because I'm going a little long on this video. But I told you I was going to take my time and try to break this thing down. But in a nutshell, the features, the graphs, the charts, the business analytics, that is excellent. I mean, that is off the charts. That is what I wanted. And I knew she was going to do it. I had submitted some questions or some suggestions to her about different things, and she included that in. And I don't know if she took my suggestion or maybe somebody already did it. Not excuse me, not saying that. I'm just saying I had made a suggestion and she did it, being able to see the different loan types, so you can sit there and say, okay, let me show me all purchases, show me all HELOCs, show me all, and you can see that. And I'm like, I love it. So that feature is excellent. Being able to see the individual charts is great. I would love to see have the option to get different types of charts. You get what I'm saying? Um, that would help me out to see, oh, okay, I got a pie chart here, I got this, I got it. Because let's just say if I'm marketing myself to somebody and they can't deal with the line chart, and they're like, well, can you submit this as a pie chart or as a bar chart? Then I can. I want to have that ability to do so. Um, that would be great. You see what I'm saying? That would be great to be able to submit that to them and download a PDF of that chart so that I can have for my own personal records, and then I can see my progress year after year. That would be great. That would excuse me, that would really be great. Seeing a checkbox does let me know that I got scan backs that I need to do in a checkbox, or something that I can, a checkbox primarily to say I received documents. So this order, I got documents. So if I need, hey, do I have documents yet? I can, oh, yep, I got them. So those things to me will help out tremendously. But overall, this is off the chain. And again, I'm not getting paid for this here. Excuse me. I already told Sue that I was going to do this review. So don't think like, oh, Sue, don't go running to her trying to talk no smack and start nothing. Before I did this, I had already reached out to her and told her that I like it and that I was going to do a review. But from what I see, this tells me she's going in the right direction, and this is going to only get better. So I would say, if you're a new notary, hop on it. The link, you see it right, NotaryAssist.com, sign up, all of that good stuff. So other than that, I think that's it. Love to hear your comments and suggestions or what you think. Is there anything you would like me to come back and do a little bit more deeper review on or expound on? Um, Feel free to let me know, and I'll see how I can put together a video on that. But I'm trying to be as thorough as I can on this one. But that's pretty much it, y'all. So y'all have a good one. Thank y'all very, very much. Sorry for the length. I really didn't want it to be 35 minutes, but hey, I really wanted to go as detailed as I could on this for y'all. So thank you very much. Y'all have a good one. Peace.